Byju has become the latest example of how revenue, valuations, and numbers can all be alive. The growth of Byju during the edtech boom after COVID was so meteoric that its valuation had increased from $1 billion in 2018 to $22 billion in 2022. By that year, Byju had become the most valuable startup in India, even surpassing Paytm. But there was one problem. Byju had made a net profit of 0 rupees ever since it started in 2015. And all of its growth was fueled by funding raised from investors. And since the unit economics of Byju was never profitable, the result was that its fall was even more spectacular than its rise. From a peak of $22 billion in 2022, its valuation had dropped to $5 billion by 2023. And as of its latest funding attempt, its valuation would be just $225 million. That is a 99% drop from its peak of $22 billion. This is coupled with Byju defaulting millions of dollars in payments, where people have resorted to taking their assets directly since they are not getting back their money. And Byju is not an exception. Only 17 out of 80 unicorns in India are profitable. And there is one person who has managed to turn not one, not two, but 3 startups into unicorns while also making 2 of them profitable at different times. Supam Maheshwari is the king of unicorns in India, who has cracked the formula of building unicorns that are also profitable, churning out 3 unicorns so far: FirstCry, an online store for kids products; ExpressBees, a logistics company; and GlobalBees, a house of brands. And today, we are going to focus on his first and most promising startup, FirstCry. It is a company that is currently valued at over 27,000 crore rupees, knows how to make a profit, and more importantly, has little competition in sight. So how did FirstCry become the biggest shopping destination for parents in India? And how has it managed to create a mix of online-offline sales funnel that no other brand has been able to replicate so far? Well, the story of FirstCry starts back in 2010. Supam Maheshwari was living in Pune with a wife and a newborn daughter, and he was facing a lot of issues finding a decent shop to buy clothes for her daughter. You see, back in 2010, internet was not that big in India, and e-commerce was even smaller. At this time, Amazon had not even entered India, and Flipkart was just 3 years old, established in 2007. So while there were some clothing and toy options on Flipkart to choose from, it was still focusing on becoming the everything store for India and offered limited variety and choices. As a result, the market for baby and kids products was heavily dominated by offline retailers. In a segment that was worth over 30,000 crore rupees, over 95% of the sales were happening offline back then. This was when Maheshwari decided to launch FirstCry.com. Initially, FirstCry was a website focused only on toys for parents living in metro cities. But within 1 year of starting, FirstCry had already opened its first offline retail store. Now, this must seem counterintuitive to you, right? Why would any company that wants to digitize a product offering open an offline store? Well, you see, this was because Maheshwari had understood his target market and audience extremely well. India is a diverse country with an even more diverse set of income groups and demographics. And it can be divided into 3 parts: India 1, 2, and 3. India 1 has roughly 12 crore people. These are people who live in metro cities and use apps like Instagram. They contribute roughly $1.4 trillion to our economy a year, which is about 11,600 per person per year. Then comes India 2. It has roughly 10 crore people who live in tier 2 towns and cities like Bhopal, Dehradun, Kanpur, and Coimbatore. And they contribute less than 1/3 of India 1's contribution to the GDP, or roughly $300 billion, which is around $3,000 per person. Then comes India 3, which is 120 crore people who contribute almost nothing to the digital economy. You and I belong to the category India 1 Alpha. Just about 60 lakh people who contribute more than half to India's digital economy and use apps and services like Cred and Instagram. Now, based on what the target market of a business is, it has to devise its strategy accordingly. Cred has to focus just on India 1 Alpha, Zomato and Ola have to focus on India 1 as well as India 2, and YouTube and WhatsApp have to focus on India 1, India 2 as well as India 3. Now, where does FirstCry lie in this equation? Well, it was in the same category as Ola and Zomato. It had to focus on India 1 as well as India 2. And this was why Maheshwari came up with his unique but brilliant click and brick approach. If you made it this far, please subscribe to my channel. I promise my content will add value for you. Moving on. A majority of the target audience for FirstCry lied in India too. And in 2011, the penetration of internet to these areas as well as the acceptance of online shopping were very limited. Although the internet penetration in India too increased rapidly after Jio launched in 2016, before that time, mobile data used to be very expensive, and since people were not using the internet in the first place, it was not logical to expect them to be comfortable with online shopping either. So to target India too effectively, FirstCry started opening retail stores in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, and the strategy to design these stores was empowered by their online experience. They used to design the store in a manner that mimicked their online categorization. And since it was not possible to stock all the items in these offline stores, they used to stock only those items offline that sold well online. And people absolutely loved these stores. You could now get products for babies and kids from a reputed store, where you could go and opt for the try and buy model, purchasing anything only after you were satisfied with the look, feel and fit of the product. The Tier 2 and Tier 3 customers were getting the exact services that they wanted. And FirstCry gradually started increasing the number of these stores. After opening the first store in 2011, they had opened 36 stores across 31 Indian Tier 2 towns and cities by 2014, increasing the number to 380 stores by 2020. And as of June 2023, the company owned over 930 stores in total. So FirstCry's click and brick model ensured that it was targeting all of its potential customers in Tier 1 as well as Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And to ensure that the company churned out a profit, Maheshwari ensured that the unit economics of his business were positive. Initially, FirstCry was selling products from other brands under the roof of FirstCry. But to increase his profits and build a brand, they introduced their own labels, Baby Hug and Cute Walk. While Baby Hug focused on baby apparel and accessories, Cute Walk was designed to cater to the footwear needs of children. These in-house brands increased FirstCry's profit margins by up to 20%. And additionally, they also started building customer loyalty through brand recall. Now, the other two areas where a startup bleeds money is growth and expansion and marketing. And FirstCry cleverly managed to pull back losses in these segments as well. The major problem with growth is the cost of capital involved. Setting up a single FirstCry store could need an investment of anywhere between 50 lakh to 2 crore rupees. So FirstCry smartly adopted the franchise model instead. Everything ranging from the cost of renting or acquiring the land, renovating and setting up the shop, hiring personnel and paying electricity bills was taken care of by a third-party franchise owner. While FirstCry provided inventory and training assistance to ensure the outlet did well. So FirstCry was able to open up hundreds of new stores without any significant investments at all. While there were some company-owned outlets as well, a majority of penetration was achieved by this franchise model. And the best part for the franchise owner was that since these stores were located in Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns and cities, the cost of real estate, whether you were renting or buying, was very low. While other franchises can require anywhere between 50 lakh to 2 crores, a FirstCry franchise could be set up in an amount as low as 20 to 30 lakh rupees. So breaking even and achieving profitability was much quicker for the franchise owner. Many of their partners started with one store and now have multiple stores of FirstCry, and out of the 936 stores as of 2023, just 321 were company owned. So 66% of their stores are franchises. And FirstCry also ensured that they weren't losing millions of dollars in marketing either. Back when they started in 2011, they did try their hands at TV and print advertising, but they quickly realized that the return on investment on these platforms was very low. So FirstCry instead started spending their marketing budget on an alternative strategy instead, which was distributing FirstCry boxes. They started targeting the customers right where the customer was being created, which was at the hospitals. FirstCry started collaborating with hospitals across India to provide a free gift hamper to parents with newborns. The hamper included products that you need immediately once you get a baby, like diapers, baby shampoo, baby powder, and cream from popular brands like Pampers and Dove. All of this came in a FirstCry box with their branding, along with high value discount coupons for the parents to encourage them to make their first purchase. So FirstCry literally became the first baby and kids brand that the parents interacted with, making it highly likely that they will turn into loyal customers. And the best part was that since these brands also get free visibility through this hamper, FirstCry pushes them to sponsor these products for the hampers and share the cost with them. So all they have to really pay for is just the outer box. Under this program, FirstCry reaches over 1,50,000 parents every single month in over 10,000 plus hospitals. What's more is that since Indian parents like to recycle boxes a lot, many parents end up using this FirstCry gift box to keep other baby products for the next several months, creating a very strong recall value for the FirstCry brand in the parents' mind. The customer acquisition cost or CAC, as well as the conversion rate for this hyper-targeted program are out of this world. FirstCry gets a CAC that is just 10% of the usual TV campaigns, and while the usual conversion rate for online advertising ranges anywhere between 0.5% to 4%, around 25 to 30% of parents who receive the box become FirstCry's regular customers. And other than this, the efforts that they do make for online social media marketing focus on creating useful communities instead. For example, in 2017, FirstCry launched an online community called FirstCry Parenting, which was open for both mothers and fathers. Instead of pushing people to buy their products, this community is a platform where parenting tips are shared with parents as content that is easy to consume. And as of March 2024, their YouTube channel alone had over 1.4 million subscribers with over 550 million lifetime views, creating a very natural and organic pull for their potential users and turning them into loyal customers. While they do spend on other advertising platforms as well, the way that they manage their marketing budget is absolutely amazing. But the cost-saving innovations did not end here. In order to save cost on shipping and logistics, Supam Maheshwari also launched an in-house logistics experiment. They started delivering orders on their own in a few major areas, then expanded it to a few major cities, and eventually turned it into a pan-India delivery giant of its own. This logistics company eventually became a self-sustaining business of its own and Maheshwari's second unicorn, which you now know as XpressBees. And all of this has been achieved while keeping the company profitable for a very long time. They have been expanding rapidly since they have been eyeing an IPO towards the end of 2024, which means that they have posted a loss for the years 2022 and 23. Even though the revenue has grown by 3.5 times. But since the founder in the driver's seat does know how to make a profit, you can expect it to be one of the first modern day startups that will be profitable after listing on the stock exchange. If you made it this far, please share this video with one person who you know will find it interesting. And follow me on LinkedIn. The link is in the description below. Until I see you in the next video, goodbye.